This is the Stargazer Journal, written and narrated by R.P. Vogt. The Path Which Begins. How did Uncle Roger die again? Waiting for an answer, Tiffany Pigg poured milk onto her bowl of puffed rice. She set the carton on the breakfast table and tightened her shoulder-length hair in its ponytail. Here, take this, her Aunt Rita said, waggling a leaf of paper in front of Tiffany's face. Tiffany took the note and placed it flat in front of her. She frowned at the long list of chores. Scrub the dust bins? Polish the mailbox? I'm supposed to do all this today? Spindly Aunt Rita clipped into the kitchen and sloshed more coffee into her mug. Don't forget to remove the dead rose bush either. Tiffany thrust out her bandaged thumb. Finished. Her aunt plunked the coffee pot onto the counter, lifted an eyebrow in Tiffany's direction, grunted loudly, then scooped 3 mounds of artificial sweetener into her mug. Tiffany stuffed the list into her jean pocket and slumped into a chair. As she curled a finger through her dark blonde hair, a question popped into her head from seemingly nowhere. She sat up, asking, "Didn't you say Uncle Roger died at work?" "I told you it was a freak accident," her aunt replied, stirring her coffee vigorously. The clinking of the spoon inside the mug rang like a caffeinated bell. "And I warned him. I told him those kooky colleagues would bring trouble. Eccentrics and wackos, that's what they are. Now finish your breakfast and quit asking questions." Tiffany swallowed a mouthful of soggy puffed rice and thought, what kind of eccentrics and wackos? Her hand touched the star-shaped locket that hung from her neck. It was a gift from her Uncle Roger, given to her not long before he died. Slurping loudly, Aunt Rita surveyed the backyard through the kitchen window. "So you finished all the yard work? Did the boys help?" "I've been doing it every day for 2 whole weeks," Tiffany said matter-of-factly. "You promised to take me to the beach as soon as the yard was clean." "Work is too busy. The beach will have to wait." "But you said—" Aunt Rita checked the clock. "Dylan, Parker, time to go." She splashed the remainder of her coffee into the sink and slammed the mug down next to a stack of plates coated with bacon grease and egg dip. Tiffany swallowed another mouthful of soggy puffed rice. Oh, rolling bones, 2 weeks in Hidden Cove, California, and not a glimpse of the ocean. Aunt Rita cupped a hand in front of her face to check her breath, then squirted breath freshener down her throat. "Did you speak to your grandmother last night?" Tiffany shuffled into the kitchen and groaned at the splatters all over the counter. "Granny said her hip's feeling a little better. The nursing home reeks of boiled cabbage, though." "She better recuperate by the end of summer," Aunt Rita declared, rummaging through a fake designer purse. "You can't stay here once school starts." "Why would I want to do that?" Tiffany mumbled. Aunt Rita tossed her purse onto the counter and crossed her arms. "I think you better drop the attitude. I'm doing your grandmother a huge favor by taking you in." "I know," Tiffany said, rinsing the dishes. "You paid for my airfare and everything." "That's right. With the dough I'm saving on a gardener and housekeeper, I'll get my money's worth, too." And then some, Tiffany thought, wiping off the counter. "So where did Uncle Roger work exactly?" "A private school." "One with eccentrics and wackos?" "It's in Scorpio Sands. That comes with the territory." "Is that where Parker and Dylan go to school?" Digging through her purse, Aunt Rita blurted, "After what happened to your uncle?" She retrieved a business card, read it, and shrugged, and tossed it on the floor. "I wouldn't let them step foot inside that place. They're forbidden to surf at Scorpio Sands Beach, too. As for you, no TV or going online until those chores are finished." Aunt Rita cleared her throat and lifted her head. "Boys, it's time to go." 2 young men, one 18 and the other 16, bounded into the kitchen, their tan, lean frames and sun-kissed hair brightening the atmosphere of the room. "I'm driving," Parker said as he snagged the keys off the counter. Being closer to her age, Parker tended to treat Tiffany more like a human being and less like a house slave, unlike his brother and mother. Lurching for the keys, Dylan sneered. No way, pea brain. Your driving stinks. Still better than yours, Parker said, knocking Dylan's hands away, even with my eyes closed. Dylan slapped his younger brother on the back of the head and snatched the keys from his grip. Didn't see that coming, did you? I could have destroyed you. Tiffany found a safe perch sitting atop the counter while her cousins tussled. Raising her voice over the grunts and thumps, she said, So what is it you guys do all day? The usual work for Mom, Parker said, slipping out of a headlock. Pure ecology water filtration at your service. I know that, Tiffany replied, but what do you actually do? Mom sells them, and Bozo and I install them, Dylan sniggered. He opened the tap and put his hand under the running water. Nothing like fresh, clean water, he splashed his brother and cousin. Parker wiped the water from his face and rammed his brother with his shoulder, sending him hurtling in Tiffany's direction. She slipped off the counter just in time. Sorry about that, Tiff, Parker said. Didn't mean for the knucklehead to clobber you. See, dimwit? Dylan smacked his large fist into his palm, right in front of Parker's face. You almost squashed Tiffany. Too many klutzy moves. That's why I drive and you do the heavy lifting. Dylan grabbed a dirty sponge from the sink and lobbed it at Tiffany's head. Tiffany gets to stay home and clean. Tiffany ducked, narrowly avoiding the sponge bomb. Ew, that's disgusting. That's enough, boys, Aunt Rita said from the kitchen doorway. Let's go, or else you'll be late. First appointment is 9 o'clock. Time to make money. As Dylan trotted toward the door to the garage, he slapped Parker on the back of the head. Let's go, little bro. He pointed to the sponge, wedged under the pantry door, and chortled. Don't forget your new best friend, cuz. Tiffany grumbled. Very funny. Parker picked up the sponge and tossed it into the sink. Don't pay attention to that buffoon, Tiff. He can't help working with what he's got, low brain cell count and all. See you later. Tiffany half smiled and waved goodbye. Aunt Rita lifted her purse strap to her shoulder and headed for the door. Tiffany asked, When we do go to the beach, can it be Scorpio Sands? Aunt Rita scoffed and whipped around, hands on hips. Absolutely not. I have no intention of going near the neighborhood where your Uncle Roger died. And with that, Aunt Rita left, slamming the door behind her. Tiffany finished loading the dishwasher, dried her hands on a dish towel, and smoothed out the crumpled paper from her pocket. Fiddling with her star-shaped locket, she stared at the list of chores and whispered, I think I figured out what I'll be doing today. This has been Chapter 1 of the Stargazer Journal, written and narrated by R.P. Vogt.